Awesome. So welcome to Omega Recording Studios. Today we're going to be reviewing a pedal known as the Future Impact 1 by a company known as Panda MIDI, based out of Hungary. This pedal is a bass synthesizer pedal, and of course it is just a great pedal. Some of the features in it include its own editing software, which we're going to be taking a look at today as well. And of course, it has 99 programmable and savable presets that you can change, including the first 9, which are actually emulations of what this pedal is based off of, which is the Akai Deep Impact pedal from the 1990s. And of course, the Akai Deep Impact was one of the only, if not the only, bass synthesizer pedals back in the day that was able to really make your bass guitar sound like a keyboard synth bass. And of course, a lot of these sounds in there were so highly sought after that it was used on a whole bunch of different tracks. The Future Impact, of course, takes those original 9. The guys at Panda MIDI took those original 9 and sort of recreated them as closely as they could. And of course, we'll hear how they sound. And I think they sound really darn close. So with the Akai Deep Impact, you can find used versions of the pedal for easily over $1,000 if you can find one at all. This pedal retails for about $489, but of course they make them in extremely small handmade batches, so they're pretty hard to get your hands on, but if you do, you're going to have one of the best, if not the best, bass synthesizer pedals on the market. I personally have this one and the EHX Microsynth, bass Microsynth, which is another one of my personal favorite synthesizer pedals for a bass guitar. But I think that the Future Impact kind of takes that concept to a whole nother level. So first we're going to run through the first 9 Deep Impact emulations and show you how those look, and of course, or how they sound. And then we will go and check out some of the other sounds and see if we can't come up with one of our own awesome patches. So this is the first patch from the Deep Impact. Here's the second one. And as you can see, I'm changing the presets in the editor itself. But of course, you can have this pedal standalone without a computer, and you can cycle through the presets yourself without a computer. So it's one of the best ways to use this pedal, in my opinion, is to, at home, figure out which patches you like the most, tweak them to your own personal needs, save them back into the pedal, and then of course you'll have those presets for when you're doing a live show and you don't have time to be messing around in an editor, but you have them at your disposal. You could just stomp and cycle through via these two buttons right here. So here's the third patch. So the Future Impact pedal takes your bass's dry signal and uses that to trigger the synthesizer itself. So it's not using any of the original dry signal from your bass. It's entirely synthesizing the sound that you're hearing from the pedal itself. So obviously I could show you what the dry bass sounds like. And of course we're using a Fender jazz bass, American made. Sounds great, but of course it doesn't really affect what it's going to sound like in the pedal itself. Cool. This is patch number 4. And of course, the DSP that this pedal is running runs at 32 bits, which is significantly higher than the Akai Deep Impact. So of course, all of the patches and sounds that you're going to be hearing are going to be incredibly high quality. Or of course, the digital technology back in the 90s wasn't really quite there yet. Of course, now we have the technology to make these digital synthesized patches incredibly high quality. And of course, the guys at Panda MIDI decided to run it at 32 bits, which is more than enough, I think, for...
plenty of bits.
Yes, exactly. So here is patch number 5 from the Deep Impact emulator. Patch number 6. And as you can tell, the tracking is pretty darn good. Of course, you need to set the input level on the Future Impact itself, where it is sort of reading a strong enough signal but not clipping. And it actually has 3 LED indicators here showing you when you are clipping. So it's kind of a nice indicator there as well. This is a patch we made in the editor.
Cool.
So of course, you can make whatever kind of patch you want from scratch. This is obviously more of like a textural effect, not as crazy as some of the other patches we listen to. It's not necessarily like a lead or a pad. It's more of a just a nice textural effect, and you can still hear a lot of the original bass, or at least the bass notes being played. So you can still use it as a bass in a traditional sense, but it does have a little bit of that nice textural effect on it. And of course, this is a preset we could save to the pedal, which we can always recall during a live situation. And so yeah, what do you think of the pedal, man?
And I like it. There's it's pretty much endless possibilities of things to do to your bass. Yeah, we could sit here for weeks, months, and do, you know, make up sounds
In a
forever.
perfect world, right? In a perfect world, that's what we would do. And he actually brings up a good point about this pedal. It is a pedal where you can sort of plug in and play. It does have the 99 presets where, they all sound really, really good, and a lot of them are really interesting. And you can definitely cycle through during a live situation, or at least have ones that you like, and just click on them or stomp on them, and you're good to go. But of course, where this pedal really shines is in the editor, where you can take one of the stock sounds and tweak it to your fancy, or create an entire sound from scratch using these filters and modulations and effects and things like that. So it does have a lot of possibilities in that regard, but of course it is a little bit more of a knob tweakers pedal, if you will. But definitely sounds pretty great. Thank you, Kurt.
Yeah, man.
And thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe, and there is a link in the description for our website as well as this pedal's website.